What if I told you the battle for America's soul isn't red versus blue, it's Gen Z versus boomers? 2 generations, 2 visions, 1 democracy on the brink. Imagine democracy as a relay race. For decades, boomers held the baton, steady, sure, in the post-war glow. Then, Gen Z sprinted onto the track with smartphones blazing, and the system stumbled. Who tripped? Who's truly to blame? The steadfast elders clinging to old rules, or the digital natives demanding radical change? Stay with me. By the end, you won't just pick a side, you'll be casting your vote. First, let's meet our teams. Boomers, born 1946 to 1964, grew up in post-war optimism raised on vinyl rock and roll, and came of age in an era of civil rights marches, Vietnam protests, and peaked politically around Reagan's America. Gen Z, born 1997 to 2012, first true digital natives, defined by TikTok virality, global climate strikes, and a hunger for systemic change, who grew up swiping and streaming, shaping identities online. 2 cohorts, 1 nation fractured. In the U.S. 2024 election, under 3-0 voters tilted 60% toward Democrats, while over 6-0 voters handed Republicans 55% of their ballots. That almost mirror image split drives every policy fight from redistricting fights in Georgia to tax debates in Washington. Yet only about 42% of eligible Gen Zers actually turned out, down from 53% in 2020, exposing both energy and apathy in youth ranks. And this isn't just an American story. In Sweden, lowering the voting age to 16 boosted youth turnout by 20%. In Brazil, Gen Z's #Elineo protests in 2018 helped block extremist candidates. 2 generations, 1 planet, many power struggles. Are boomers defending democracy, or keeping it locked down? First, power and districts. Boomer-led legislatures have redrawn maps to protect safe seats, often rural, older districts, while fast-growing cities feel left behind. Second, reform resistance. Mail-in ballots and same-day registration, championed by youth, trigger fraud fears among many GOP veterans. Third, climate inertia. Despite worldwide youth marches in London, Sydney, and New York, boomer-majority parliaments still subsidize fossil fuels, and the planet pays the price. Fourth, misinformation habits. Though boomers are less than half of Facebook users, they share nearly 2/3 of its viral political falsehoods. Are they protecting truth or distorting it? Let's look deeper. Entrenched power and gerrymandering. Across 30-plus states, boomer-dominated legislatures have redrawn districts to lock in safe seats, often favoring aging rural areas over booming cities. The result? A growing city like Atlanta loses legislative clout to sparsely populated counties. Resistance to reform. Mail-in ballots, same-day registration, vital for Gen Z's first-time voters, face steep opposition from older lawmakers as many GOP veterans argue these measures invite fraud despite multiple studies suggesting fraud rates in the 0.01%. Climate inaction. While London, Sydney, and New York saw hundreds of thousands of youth march for climate in 2023, boomer-led parliaments continue subsidizing oil and gas, betting on short-term gains over long-term survival. Risking our shared future. Misinformation habits. Though boomers make up under half of Facebook users, they share nearly 2/3 of its viral political falsehoods, fueling division with every careless click. Money and influence. Boomer wealthy donors bankroll dark money PACs with 6- and 7-figure checks, ensuring policies that favor wealth preservation over wealth creation for younger generations. Now, Gen Z under the microscope. First, echo chambers and cancel culture. A single viral hashtag in the UK once derailed a centuries-old statue debate before experts could weigh in. Second, protest over process. Flash mobs and TikTok petitions flare bright, then fade, while Sweden's Youth Council shows lasting change often comes through institutions, not internet trends. Third, distrust of institutions. 44% of US Gen Zers say democracy isn't working. In India's 2024 Lok Sabha elections, youth abstentions hit record highs. Fourth, policy naivete. Calls to defund the police echo from South Africa's townships to Canadian city halls, but unified, practical plans remain scarce. Let's dive deeper. Echo chambers and cancel culture. Rapid online shaming can drown nuance. One viral tweet can wreck reputations before facts surface. The cancel of a UK professor in 2022, over a misinterpreted joke, shows how digital shaming can outpace due process. Protest over process. TikTok petitions and flash mob protests grab headlines, then vanish. Contrast Sweden's youth councils, institutional bodies where youth voices draft policy, that shows institutional change often wins slower, but lasts longer. Distrust of institutions. 44% of US Gen Z say democracy isn't working. In India, youth distrust helped fuel record abstentions in 2024's Lok Sabha elections. Policy naivete. From defund the police to abolish capitalism, some Gen Z slogans lack clear execution plans, prompting backlash and playing into boomer criticisms of youth idealism. Entrepreneurial energy. Yet Gen Z startups outpace boomers in solar tech, clean energy apps, and social impact finance, demonstrating a can-do spirit to solve what previous generations broke. Experts remind us that democracy thrives when generations collaborate, not clash, and that cross-generational collaboration, not conflict, is democracy's lifeblood. Some suggest that boomers built the systems. If they're broken, elders must lead reform, but youth must master the rules to reshape them. Let's look at some global case studies to gain real-world insight. 1. 16-year-old voters in the UK and Austria. In Scotland's 2014 independence referendum, 16 to 17-year-olds turned out at 75%, outpacing adults. Vienna's municipal elections show consistent 60% plus turnout among 16 to 17-year-olds. When teenagers gain a voice, they often use it. 2. France's pension reforms versus Australia's climate strikes. France's 2023 pension reform strikes were led by older workers defending earned benefits. Boomers block Paris highways to defend their pensions. At the same time, in Melbourne, Gen Z blocked streets for climate action. Two generations clashing over the future. 3. Digital democracy in Estonia and Taiwan. Estonia pioneered e-voting in 2005. By 2023, half its voters cast ballots online, across all ages. Accelerating turnout and trust. Taiwan's Taiwan crowdsourcing platform lets citizens, young and old, co-draft legislation in real time. E-voting embraced by all ages. Could the US replicate? Here's how we unite. First, by partisan youth councils, like those in Canada, pairing youth reps with senior advisors to draft real policy. Second, revamped civic education. Finland teaches misinformation detection from grade 4 onward. Third, ranked choice voting pilots. Maine's experiment raised turnout by 8%, especially among under 40 voters. Small steps, big impact. Let's look deeper. Bipartisan youth councils. Local councils in Canada embed youth reps alongside seniors, crafting policies on housing, jobs, and climate that unite. Civic education and media literacy. Finland's curriculum teaches students to spot disinformation from grade 4, result, highest global trust in media. An approach the US could adopt. Ranked choice voting pilots. Maine's RCV experiment boosted turnout by 8%, especially among under 40 voters. And cut negative campaigning. Intergenerational policy labs. Local labs bring boomers and Gen Z together over real problems. Like transit and broadband, fostering respect and solutions. Boomers with ballots, Gen Z with hashtags. America needs both steady hands and fresh fire. Whether you're clutching a smartphone or social security card, democracy needs both your voice and your vote. Comment below, which generation scares you more, and why? Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and let's bridge this generational chasm together. Then register to vote, sign a petition, join your local council, or mentor across the aisle. Democracy's not a spectator sport. This relay isn't over until every generation crosses the finish line together.